Welcome everyone. This is Morning Musings with Michael. I like alliteration. Uh, what I'm going to do with these videos is just talk through, things that are on my mind, the things that I'm uh, pondering about, thinking more deeply on, having some sort of place that I can talk through those thoughts out loud while I'm doing other things that I'm doing. So today I'm going to be taking some clamps off of this cabinet I'm building. You know, another day I'll be driving home from dropping my kids off at school. So it just depends. But some things that have been on my mind lately. I've been thinking a lot about goals and like how to be productive, how to make progress on things that are important to me. This has come up for a couple of reasons. One is I got divorced a few years ago, and I have 3 kids. I'm lucky enough to have 50%. What do they call it? Like there's a difference between. Well, I have 50% custody, and I get the kids 50% of the time. There's a distinction between those things, but that's not important. But I work full time. I'm a software architect, which is a great job, and I really enjoy doing software. But I've come to the realization that if I want more time with my kids, I need to have more time and financial freedom. And I need to figure out what that means for me, right? And it's like I have ideas, what I think about that. Sorry, I'm not collapsing these clamps because it's a little noisy to collapse them. Yeah, so I have ideas of what that means for me, but I've not really defined it well in the past. It's just like, oh yeah, I would like to have more time to do these things, or I would like more money so I can do these things. And it's kind of hard to make progress when you don't have things defined properly. So I was talking to someone the other day about their goals, and I was like, oh, I know a lot about this. I know what I should be doing, but I'm not doing the things that I know will make a difference with that. And that's kind of a problem. I'm gonna move the camera. Kind of a problem. So talking to them, I was like, okay, they have this problem where they have realized they don't feel like they pick up on things as quickly as other people, or it just takes them longer, and that's fine. I'm like, everyone has their limitations, but what are some things that you feel like you have made progress on? And they're like, well, I've learned how to budget well. There's a time this person had trouble, keeping their finances in order, knowing where their money was going, that sort of thing. And they've become someone that really understands that stuff well and keeps track of it. And they're pretty, proud of themselves for what they've accomplished, learning to do that. Another thing that they'd started doing is they, like most of their life, I think, they'd kept like a journal on and off, but not with any real regularity. And they're like, I've been able to start doing that in the last, year or more. And they're, proud of themselves for being able to pull that off. And so I asked, okay, so what do you think is the difference between what you see happen with the things you struggle to like turn into real progress or action or whatever, versus these things that you're like, hey, I've been able to accomplish this. And talking through that, I was like, well, obviously, these things, well, maybe not obviously, but these things that they've been able to actually make progress on and become good at are things that they have linked to like their identity, if that makes sense. So for instance, let's say you want to get good at budgeting. So you want to make a change in yourself. You have maybe, goals around that or whatever, but how do you make that change? How do you actually live up to that, right? And the answer is kind of to just, the answer is you need to link that thing with yourself. So instead of being like, I want to be better at budgeting, I want to know where my money is or whatever, instead of doing that, you do, I want to be better at budgeting. The reason I want to be better at budgeting is because I am someone who is in control of my life and my finances and am a good steward of the things that I'm given. And so linking that to your identity, well, now you're not budgeting because you think it's something you should do or something you should be better at. You're budgeting because you are a person in control of your life. And so you've linked it to your identity. Once you've linked something to your identity, well then it's easy to continue to do things like, keep your budget, because that's just who you are. That's part of who you are. It doesn't have to be, I do this task as part of who I am. You've linked it to, I am someone that's in control of my life. I am someone who takes care of these types of things. So linking to that can drive change or motivation or whatever. Like it's not hard to do the things that define you as a person, right? So that's cool. And it was really fun to talk with that person over those things. Now, turning back towards me, I've realized, hey, I'm not really living up to everything I want to do. What am I missing? So examining what I'm missing, I've been missing a few things. One, well-defined goals. So that's another thing that talking to this person, we realized is that, hey, things that you make progress on are things that are linked to like your identity, and also things that are easily measured. So if you think about budgeting, well, budgeting is cool, But the great thing about budgeting is like built into it is like a sense of measurement, right? So um, you're either budgeting or you're not. And if you get behind on budgeting, you gotta catch up. So like built right into that is like almost a daily check-in on the goal. Now, does that mean you have to do it every day? No, but you do have to play catch up if you don't do it every day. So if I'm going to be in control of my life and in control and know where my money's going and be a good steward, I've got to do that every day, right? Similar with journaling. If you're like, I am someone who journals and cares about these things and whatever, tied that to my identity. Built into that is, hey, I'm going to record my thoughts or things like every day, right? So these things that they've been able to carry through on are things that are easily measured and tied to who they are as a person, right? So it's like, okay, well, I don't have the easily measured thing quite figured out yet. But for me, I also was thinking in software, I have a lot of responsibility to keep our code base clean and teach good like code hygiene and like how to structure things. So sometimes with a large group, because I do work with a large group, it's hard for people to just do what they should do, because what you should do, especially in a large group, is often not easy. So it's like the more difficult thing. Well, I don't really care that it's more difficult. I just need it done correctly, because maintainability is important when you're on a large team. So like if you can build in things that prevent people from doing what they shouldn't be doing, like force them to do things the right way, well, that's one way you can handle that. Another way is that you put things in place to make doing it what was the easy way the hard way. And that like leans into something about people in general, is that people are very averse to pain. Like they'll do naturally they'll just do whatever is the easiest for them, which is good. It's just it's the way people are. It's not. I guess it's not a good thing or a bad thing, but this principle in action is like if there's a way people can do stuff in code that you shouldn't do because it's not to your standard or whatever, you put things in place that make it difficult for them to do that, so that it's easy to do it the right way, and then they'll just naturally do it the right way. You don't have to like nag anyone. They just naturally readjust to the proper way of doing things. But it's more work to kind of frame it that way. Similar thing, if you listen to any sort of like business content or whatever, you've probably heard like you want to sell painkillers, not vitamins, right? You want to sell something that is or medicine, not vitamins, whatever. You want to sell something that people need, even if it's like for a short time that solves a pain, rather than a vitamin, which is like, hey, you need to take this to feel good or whatever. Because if you're just doing something that's like, hey, this is going to make things a little better for you, you're not going to have the same results with that. If people need it, they're gonna do what they can to get it, and if it's just something that like can make them feel better, it's not going to do nearly as well. So applying that to goal setting, I realized with myself and through watching content from various people and reading books. For me, setting a goal, I need to apply that like I need to find how me as a person is defined by this, and I identify as this type of person, right? And then, um, and then I need to have measurable goals, and then finally, what pain am I unwilling to bear anymore? Like, what pain is this solving? How do I turn a goal from a vitamin into a medicine, right? And so for me, I think most people probably like this. I go through periods where I'm like very productive and getting a lot done, to times where it's like I just want to lay around on Saturday and not do anything. And I'm like, how do I get myself to be on the productive side more frequently? And I realized, okay, I'm missing a lot of those steps with goal setting. But what is the pain I'm no longer willing to bear? This is not something that I've applied to myself really before. And so I started examining this because for me, there's a lot I'd like to do. And like I said at the beginning of this, I want to spend more time with my kids, because I realize, hey, if I want more time with my kids, and like as they get older, they're doing more sports and things, and the answer to having more time with them is to have more time freedom. So the times that they're around with me, I'm free to just spend that time with them rather than worrying about what I need to do at work and things like that. So I want to solve that. But how do I solve that? Like, what is the pain that I'm unwilling to bear? And there's this exercise. Lots of people have talked about an exercise like this, but identify like, okay, what are the things I want in 10 years? What does my life look like in 10 years? Breaking down like your goals more fully and identifying these things. That's an important like exercise I found. But then the next question is, what does it look like in 10 years if I don't do anything, right? So like, what's it look like in 10 years if I just keep doing what I'm doing rather than making the changes and like executing on like my goals? Because goals is part doing something, but it's also majorly just keeping on doing it even though you don't feel like it or whatever. So this exercise is kind of to work through how do you keep doing it even when you're like tired or whatever. And so the question looking forward is like, in 10 years, what does it look like if you just keep doing what you're doing? And I look forward and I'm like, okay, well, in 10 years, if I just keep doing what I'm doing, things like monetarily are fine. Like, I'm out of debt, worked through stuff. It's fine. But the thing that's unbearable is that if I get to that point and haven't made changes, that then that means that I like lost a lot of time with my kids, and that's just due to I don't really want to say laziness, but um, sort of just due to my own laziness, right? So if I just keep doing things as they are and go through life the same as I have been, in 10 years, I will be in just a fine spot in a lot of ways, but I will know that I didn't spend the time I could have with my kids because I didn't follow through, or I didn't, yeah, I missed out on doing something because I was like, oh, I can't find the motivation. Well, this is the motivation. The motivation is that in 10 years, I want to look back and be like, hey, I did everything I could. And if that works out to more time freedom with my kids, that's wonderful. And if it doesn't, at least I know I did what I could, right? And so that's the big that's the big driving thing for me now is like, oh, I don't want that pain. I'm going to do the medicine thing, not the vitamin thing. Instead of this being like, hey, it would be nice to have time freedom and financial freedom to just spend the time I want with my kids, like the way I want with my kids. Instead of that, what I have instead is, oh, it is painful not to do this, and I'm going to get it done so I can just spend that time. And I think, that's great motivation for me. I mean, there's other things, like it'd be nice to just retire my mom and things like that. But really, the core driving factor is, hey, I want to spend more time with my kids, and also, if I don't do the work to do that, I'm going to know that I came up short there, right? So, anyway, those have been, thoughts going through my head lately. My morning musings. I plan on doing more morning musing videos. Ideally, just included as part of my, part. What do you call it? Meditation. Reviewing, verbalizing the things that I'm learning or thinking about, so that they're more solidified in my mind. And if people enjoy coming up along on this journey with me, well, then that's awesome. If not, this is kind of my tool to work through this stuff and verbalize and visualize. And I think it's also kind of fun to be able to look back, kind of like a journal. Look back. These are the things that are important to me. These are the things I'm thinking about. So I think I'll enjoy that aspect as well. Anyway, this is the first one. I don't know how it went, but I'm gonna post it regardless. So, all right. Thanks, everyone.